Hello learners, welcome to this massive open online course on early childhood care and education. We are now in week 3 of our course, and this week we will be exploring module 3, which is titled Hazards and Ailments During Early Childhood. In our earlier lectures, we talked about various aspects of child development, starting right from the prenatal stage and continuing up to the preschool years. By now, I am sure you have built a good understanding of the key concepts of growth and development in young children. We have also explored the different dimensions of development like physical, cognitive, social, language, and emotional development. So, now building on this foundation, we will shift our focus to the hazards and challenges that can arise during early childhood and impact development. We know that childhood is broadly divided into two stages, early childhood and late childhood. Early childhood spans from 2 to 6 years, and late childhood begins at 6 years and continues until the onset of puberty, which is around 11 years for girls and 12 years for boys. Late childhood is also often referred to as the school age period because formal education typically begins during this stage. So now that we have reviewed the stages of childhood, let us focus specifically on the developmental challenges faced by younger children, those in early childhood, which is the focus of this module. So we know that development is a continuous and natural process that follows a specific direction. Children reach important developmental milestones like walking, talking, and socializing through a combination of maturation and learning. What is also important to notice that both hereditary factors, what children inherit, and environmental influences like their surroundings, relationships, and experiences play a key role in shaping this development. But sometimes this natural process of development can face interruptions due to certain factors. These are called developmental hazards, and that is exactly what we are going to discuss now. Developmental hazards are factors that can impede normal growth and development in living beings. In humans, these hazards can be physical, which affect the body and health, psychological, that impacts emotions, behavior, or mental health, and sometimes both physical and psychological combined. For example, poor nutrition can lead to both physical health problems like stunted growth and mental health issues like poor concentration. And similarly, family conflicts or quarrel between parents can create stress in children, affecting their cognitive development and emotional well-being. Now that we have introduced the concept of developmental hazards, let's shift our focus to one specific area, physical developmental hazards, that young children between the ages of 2 and 6 years often face. In today's session, we will take a closer look at these physical hazards to better understand their impact on children's growth and development. By the end of this session, you will be able to identify the common physical developmental hazards in early childhood, understand how these hazards can affect a child's health and development, and learn about preventive measures and interventions to help minimize these risks. Now, let's take a closer look at some of the most common physical hazards faced by young children during early childhood. These include mortality, illness, accidents, physical appearance, awkwardness, obesity, and left-handedness. Let's now discuss each of these hazards in detail, one by one, starting with mortality. Mortality in early childhood. The mortality rate generally declines after infancy during the early childhood years. However, research shows that accidental drownings and home accidents continue to be leading causes of development in this age group. It is also found that boys are more likely to experience accidents than girls, which results in higher mortality rate among boys. These findings highlight an important point, that is, there is a strong need for enhanced home safety measures to reduce risks and create a safe environment for young children at home. Now, let us talk about illness affecting young children. We all know that young children tend to fall sick quite often, and one of the most common problems they face is respiratory illnesses like cold, coughs, and other infections. The good news is that with vaccinations and affordable medicines which are widely available these days, most illnesses are short-lived and manageable. However, it is important to note that though most illnesses in children are physiological, that is caused by infections or physical conditions, some can also be psychosomatic. Sometimes children show physical symptoms that are actually caused by stress or family tensions. For example, a child living in a stressful environment, maybe where parents argue a lot, they might frequently complain of stomach aches or headaches, even when there are actually no medical cause for these issues. So, what does this tell us? While it is important to focus on physical health, we can't ignore the emotional environment that children grow up in. A supportive and happy home can make a big difference in keeping illness at bay in young children. Now, let's talk about accidental hazards. We know that accidents are one of the most common causes of injury during early childhood. At this stage, children are naturally curious and eager to explore their surroundings. While this curiosity is essential for learning, it can also make them prone to accidents. Minor injuries like cuts, bruises, burns, infections, broken bones, or strained muscles are very common. However, research shows that boys tend to have more accidents than girls, possibly because they are often more active and risk-taking. While most accidents are not serious, we cannot overlook the fact that some incidents can lead to temporary or even permanent disabilities. For example, a fall from stairs or a burn from hot liquids may require a long-term treatment and could affect a child's development. Beyond physical injuries, accidents can also leave emotional scars. A child who has had a frightening experience, like falling off a playground slide, may develop fear or anxiety about similar activities, which can impact their confidence and willingness to explore in their life in later stages. Now, why do accidents happen? Young children are naturally curious and still developing physical coordination, which often makes them prone to accidents. Recognizing these risks help us plan better preventive measures, like teaching basic safety rules and supervising playtime activities closely. In fact, studies show that childhood accidents, especially falls, tend to happen at home most of the time. Simple adjustments such as securing furniture, installing safety gates, and covering sharp edges can significantly enhance safety and create a more secure environment for young children at home. Let's now talk about physical appearance and how it changes during early childhood. Research shows that as children grow, their physical appearance often becomes less appealing, especially as they transition from early childhood to late childhood. So why does this happen? Well, there are few reasons for this shift in physical appearance. To begin with, children may start looking skinny and awkward as their bodies grow through growth spurts and proportional changes. This phase of development can sometimes make them appear unbalanced or even a bit gawky. Secondly, their hair texture often becomes coarser and harder to manage, giving them an unkempt look, even when properly cared for. Next, the permanent teeth that replace the baby teeth may look disproportionately large compared to their facial features, creating an overall sense of imbalance in their appearance. Lastly, young children tend to prioritize play and having fun over personal grooming. As a result, they often appear dirty or messy, which can give them the impression of being ill-groomed. While these changes are completely normal, they can sometimes lead to feelings of self-consciousness, especially if children sense disapproval from adults or teasing from their peers. This highlights the importance of adults offering support and reassurance to help children feel confident during this stage of development. Let's move on to another important issue, awkwardness in children. Awkwardness often arises from delays in motor or intellectual development. Children who appear awkward may struggle to keep up with their peers, especially during play or group activities. This can lead to feelings of exclusion, and over time it may cause them to develop an inferiority complex, making them feel less self-conscious and or less capable than others. But what causes this awkwardness? In some cases, it may stem from brain damage at birth, which can lead to intellectual delays or deficiencies. In other cases, it may be influenced by parental behaviors. For example, overprotectiveness can prevent children from developing independence. Excessive rejection can lower their confidence. Overindulgence may limit opportunities to build self-regulation and problem-solving skills in young children. So, what does this tell us? It highlights the need for early identification and intervention to help children develop their skills and confidence. With supportive parenting and timely interventions, these challenges can often be overcome, thereby enabling children to thrive socially and emotionally. Now, let's talk about obesity in children and why it's a cause for concern. Just like adults, children who are obese are at a higher risk of developing health problems such as diabetes, high blood pressure, and heart issues compared to their normal weight peers. But the effects of obesity go beyond physical health. Obese children often face social challenges as well. They may be labeled or teased by their peers, which can have a lasting impact on their self-esteem and social interactions. This highlights the need to address obesity early, not just by focusing on healthy eating habits and physical activity, but also by providing emotional support to help children feel confident and accepted as they work towards a healthier lifestyle. Now, let us talk about left-handedness and the challenges it can bring during childhood. Although there is no physical advantage to being right-handed, the majority of people are right-handed. As a result, being left-handed often makes a child stand out, and unfortunately, being different is sometimes perceived as being unequal, especially during childhood and adolescence. But that is not all. Left-handed children may face practical challenges as well. For example, it can be difficult for a left-handed child to follow instructions or imitate movements from a right-handed person, especially when learning, drawing, or using tools. Parental pressure can make this even harder. Some parents strongly discourage or even punish their children for using their left hand, pushing them to switch to the right hand instead. This approach can be harmful. It often makes children feel that being left-handed is a weakness, which may lead to low self-esteem and have a negative impact on their personality development and confidence. And the impact doesn't stop there. Difficulties faced by the left-handed children can affect their educational success, their vocational achievements, and even their social adjustment later in life. So, what does this tell us? It highlights the need to accept and support children's natural preferences, ensuring they feel valued and confident regardless of whether they are left-handed or right-handed. In addition to the common physical hazards we have discussed here, let's not forget the role of environmental factors too. Environmental hazards can also pose serious risks to young children's health and safety. For example, exposure to pollutants, especially in urban areas with high level of air pollution, has been linked to increased rates of asthma and other respiratory issues in children. Unsafe play areas such as broken playground equipment or littered spaces can lead to injuries and long-term safety concerns. So what does this mean? It highlights the need for clean air initiative and development of safe, green play spaces where children can explore and grow without unnecessary risks. As caregivers, educators, and community members, we must focus on creating healthier environments to reduce exposure to these hazards and support healthy development for all children. Okay, let's now talk about another important factor, poor nutrition and its impact on child development. Poor nutrition is a major developmental hazard that can affect both physical growth and cognitive development in young children. For example, children who do not get enough essential nutrients may experience stunted growth and weakened immunity, making them more vulnerable to illnesses. They may also suffer from cognitive delays, such as difficulty concentrating or learning problems, which can affect their academic performance later on in life. So what does this mean for us? It emphasizes the need for proper nutrition to support healthy growth and prevent developmental delays. Ensuring children receive balanced diets, rich in vitamins, minerals, and proteins can lay the foundation for their physical health and mental development. In addition, raising awareness among parents and caregivers about the importance of nutrition and promoting nutritional programs in schools and communities can play a key role in preventing these issues. Now that we have discussed the physical hazards in young children, let us shift our focus to strategies for preventing and addressing these challenges. When it comes to reducing mortality and illnesses, the focus should be on early intervention and preventive care. Vaccinations and regular health checkups are critical to preventing infectious diseases. Good hygiene practices like hand washing can help minimize the risk of infections. Prompt medical care and emergency preparedness can also save lives during accidents or illnesses. To prevent accidents, the key is to child-proof environments and supervise activities. Install safety gates, secure furniture, and cover sharp edges to reduce risks at home. Teach children basic safety rules like not playing near stairs or hot surfaces. Encourage constant supervision, especially during outdoor play. Support children's self-esteem as they experience changes in appearance. Positive reinforcement can help children accept their changing bodies and build confidence. Encourage good hygiene habits early, making grooming a fun activity rather than a chore. Remind caregivers to avoid negative comments about appearance and instead focus on children's strengths. For children struggling with awkwardness, we need to focus on early identification and skill building. Provide physical activities that develop motor skills like running, jumping, or climbing. Offer encouragement and praise for efforts, not just outcomes, to build confidence. Seek professional evaluations for any signs of developmental delays and follow up with therapy if required. To address obesity, focus on healthy habits early. Promote balanced diets and nutritious snacks both at home and in schools. Encourage physical activity through play-based exercises like dancing and sports. Provide emotional support to help children develop a positive body image and healthy eating habits. To support left-handed children, respect their natural preference and avoid forcing them to switch hands. Provide tools and materials designed for left-handed users to ease learning tasks. Encourage confidence by normalizing left-handedness and celebrating their unique strengths. Reducing environmental hazards requires community and household efforts. Advocate for clean air initiatives to reduce pollution-related illness like asthma. Create safe, green play spaces free from hazards like broken equipment or sharp objects. Educate family about environmental risks and promote healthier living conditions. And to address poor nutrition, provide nutritional education to parents and caregivers. Promote balanced meals, rich in proteins, vitamins, and minerals to support growth and cognitive development. Encourage school meal programs to ensure that all children have access to healthy food. While these hazards pose real challenges, they can be effectively addressed through awareness, timely intervention, and supportive environments. When caregivers, educators, and communities work together, we can create safe, nurturing spaces where children can thrive physically, emotionally, and socially. So, with this, we have reached the end of today's video lecture. In our discussion, we have highlighted that physical hazards during early childhood can arise from factors such as mortality, illness, accidents, awkwardness, obesity, left-handedness, and environmental risks. These hazards can impact not only physical health but also emotional well-being, self-esteem and social interactions. While some hazards like illness and accidents may be unavoidable, they can often be minimized through preventive measures such as vaccinations, safe environments, nutritious diets and emotional support. We also discuss practical strategies to mitigate these risks, focusing on parental awareness, supervision and early intervention for physical and developmental delays, promoting healthy habits, balanced nutrition and physical activity to address issues like obesity, encourage positive reinforcement to help children develop confidence and resilience, especially when facing appearance-related challenges or left-handedness. So thank you for joining in today's session on physical developmental hazards in early childhood. In our next video lecture, we will shift our focus to psychological hazards that can affect young children during this critical stage of development. So stay tuned for that. Until then, take care of yourself and the children around you. See you in our next session. Goodbye. Thank you.